time luxury brands. And we were the first to launch Lancôme at the time, and we were the first to launch Kiehl's before all our competitors. And so we decided, okay, we want to educate the Taiwanese market. We want to create excitement. We also want to get, support from Momo. So they want, when you launch a brand on Momo, they also want you to create something cool for them. And so we created the virtual Kiehl's omni-channel store, which is recreating the feeling of being at a Kiehl's, in Shizuoka Mitsubishi, directly inside the Momo website. And so you had access to our beauty advisor, which was capable of actually showing you the different products. You could actually register and add products, of course, see what were the best sellers, do a skin diagnosis, etc. I'll just go through the video. Maybe you can speak on top of the video.
Okay. 好，那在刚刚提到的这个 Omni Channel 呢，其实很重要的是，我们并不会说是从线上到线下，或是从线下到线上，而是我们认为这两个都是同时必须并存，而且很重要的两个管道。那其中一个很好的案例，就是在前几年，我们这个 Kiehl's 第一次的在 Momo 上面是首度 Momo 进军这个比较高阶的这个保养品牌。那我们也是第一个包含兰蔻一起上市的一个牌子。那同时呢，我们还有创造一个现在大家在影片上面看到的这个虚拟柜台，你可以在这一个影片或者是这个虚拟平台中呢，自己去做一些肌肤检测，或是跟我们的柜姐、柜哥去做一个互动，去了解我们现在目前的一些产品是什么样子的一个产品，然后你可以去做一些互动，进而去做下单的动作。
And then, of course, the future of omnichannel is also bringing, so this was trying to recreate the online feeling, to create the offline feeling online. Then we have the how to create excitement offline when you're doing online things. And then what is the future of omnichannel? What has been happening, especially in this recent years during the COVID lockdowns, etc.? Well, there's two big projects which L'Oréal has been working significantly a lot. One is called the BA one-to-one chat. And this we realized, okay, unfortunately, all the Baihogongse are closed, locked down, or people are scared to go to the department store. But they still want to buy beauty, they still want to be beautiful, and they still trust their beauty advisors. So we launched a new system, a new process, and maybe some of you are using it, where as a consumer, you can directly talk to a real beauty advisor. This is not a chatbot, this is not an artificial thing. You are chatting to the usual beauty advisor that you've always been seeing directly, even if you're not have access to the counter. And so you can do e-commerce with her. She will send you to our online shop, or you can buy at the counter and she will prepare the bag for you. And you can just do a no contact transaction, without spending time at the department store, etc. And this actually managed to save part of the business, because of course business was very tough during lockdown. And so creating this relationship between beauty advisors and consumers when there was no possibility, the problem was not about demand, the problem was about supply, because consumers could not access our products. So this allowed us to maintain the supply. And secondly, click and collect. Click and collect completely exploded for L'Oréal. It was a huge success because people did not want to be in crowds. They don't want to spend 2 hours inside the department store. I pre-purchase, I pre-prepare my transaction, I buy, the bag is ready, I can go in and out from Baihogongse in 5 minutes, and I've done my transaction. So these are some of the innovations which are happening in the offline world.
好，那刚刚提到的是从线下怎么样子在线上创造一个这样的节点。那现在我们要从线上再到线下。那因为现在很多人在 COVID 的期间，其实不想要到百货公司去人挤人，或是有一些密切的接触，所以现在呢，我们甚至有一个像这样子跟柜姐可以1对1的对谈的一个管道。那它是真人的一个对话，你并不是在跟一个机器人对话。所以如果你今天也有跟彩妆或是保养品购买相关的问题，你都可以直接在这一个平台上面去跟我们的柜姐去做互动。那同时在右边呢，我们也创造了一个这样子的平台，让大家可以不用花2个多小时的时间到百货公司去做购买，你直接在线上点好你想要的东西，下单，你就可以拿到你要的产品了。
And now we go to the third pillar, beauty tech, which is the most recent pillar we've launched in L'Oréal a few years back, which is how can we reinvent the beauty experience? What is the future of beauty experiences? And there we went quite far. And the big news, for those of you who do not know, and it was everywhere in the finance reports, in the marketing reports, the whole world was a bit surprised. A big old dinosaur company, 100 years old, French, old school, buying a startup in Canada working on artificial intelligence about face detection, skin detection. What are they doing? That was the reaction of the market at the time. And actually, it was a brilliant move, because this company and this startup is helping us completely transform the way we do customer relationship, the way we do e-commerce, etc. And I have the video, you can translate during the video.
好，那其实，在前几年呢，我们买下了一家新创公司，叫 Modiface。那 Modiface 这家公司其实是一个非常年轻的公司，所以当时买下来的时候，全世界的媒体都惊为天人。他们觉得为什么一个100年的像恐龙一样的老公司会想要买这样的新创？但其实因为 Modiface 它在做的就是非常先进的这个美妆科技的技术，帮助我们可以在肌肤检测上面做一些 AI 的一个检测跟技术的导入。所以后来我们买进这一个，然后结合我们的这个美妆的专业之后，其实帮助我们在这个美妆产业上面是有更进一步的一个发展。
And so this is when people ask me, why are you still at L'Oréal? You love tech? This is tech. And 6 years ago, so now I'm in Taiwan, before I was based in L'Oréal Shanghai, but my previous job in Paris, I was in charge of the Modiface project and previously before the acquisition. So this is the kind of things which are super fun and super interesting. And let me share with you some of the innovations which are happening for us in terms of beauty tech. Well, of course, everyone knows virtual makeup. So this has kind of become a classic. You can do it on Snapchat, Instagram. It's called the AR filters. But the thing is, what's interesting is to see that some women on e-commerce, when you want to buy lipstick, and this is especially true during COVID, where we had to remove all the samplers and now we cannot sample products and try them. If I want to try 100, shades in 1 minute, I can. So before I go to the Lancôme counter, I will check maybe 20 shades and only isolate 1 or 2 which I like, and then I go to the counter to finalize with the beauty advisor, which is the 1 or 2 I like. But if we go above the classical, we have super advanced technology. This one, for example, is what we call the foundation discovery. And foundation, and I know this is not easy for the men in this room because men don't wear foundation. Most men don't wear foundation. Buying foundation online is almost impossible because foundation is such a personal product. The shade has to be exactly, you cannot be one shade too bright or too dark. And so every phone has different cameras. If I'm sitting next to a window with light or I'm in the dark, the camera is not seeing the same color. Yet we finalized the technology with a partnership with Apple and Samsung and these people to calibrate the technology to calculate exactly the shade of your skin. And then once we know the exact shade of your skin, we can do the actual foundation recommendation and you will be able to buy foundation online knowing that it's exactly your color. Huge innovation. I think we're the only ones worldwide which invented this because it took us 6 years to build, but it's super interesting. Other one is skin diagnosis. And this one is a project I personally worked on. So I'm very proud of this one, but it's the skin diagnosis, which when we take a picture of you, we are counting. People think maybe this is all fake. We're just drawing triangles on your face and pretending to look. No, the technology is actually counting every wrinkle, every pimple, your folds, the size of your cheek, etc., and actually will do a personalized recommendation based on what we've detected on the picture. It took 5 years to build too, because we had to take thousands of pictures, send them to a dermatologist, which had to look at the pictures and do the annotation. So it's very complex. I don't want to go in detailed machine learning explanation, but this is the kind of thing where we can do skin diagnosis, almost reproduce a dermatologist, or at least the initial, a dermatologist review with the technology on the smartphone. Then there's creativity. Beauty tech allows you to be creative. Hair color and maybe Eva knows this because Eva, you were working on L'Oréal Paris hair coloration also a lot. Hair coloration is a very engaging product. People who do hair coloration do not want to make a mistake, of course. So managing to reassure people, let them try the different shades, find out which is the one which is perfect for their skin tone, for their face shape, etc., allows us to double check. And the last technology, and this is very new, we've launched this only last year ago, is what we call the face scan. And face scan is what I believe more advanced than what Google is doing, more advanced than what TSMC is doing. Because we take a picture of your face, we analyze every single aspect of it, the shape of your eyebrow, the shape of your nose, how big is your nose, what is the face of your shape, is your face round, oval, square, is it big cheekbones, small cheekbones, etc., etc. And we give you a personalized recommendation about what is the type of makeup which suits you. Because of course, if you have maybe big cheekbones, you want a special contouring makeup, which allows you to make your cheekbones a bit smaller. If you have big eyes, maybe you want to make them more, exciting, etc. So this is done because we've actually analyzed every aspect of your face. Very complicated technology, but very interesting.
好。 那为什么呼应到刚才最一开始 Mark 说，为什么自己会想要在这样子的一个美妆科技企业留这么久？其实就是因为大家在荧幕上面看到的这些这么多先进的科技，其实就是驱动他会想要一直在这边一直不断的去学习以及精进的部分。那因为在荧幕上面大家都可以看到影片，我就不赘述各个科技的一个功能。那原则上呢，它就是能够用我们刚刚所提到的这些先进的科技去帮大家做虚拟试妆，去描述或是去计算你的一个比方说你的皱纹啊、你的痘痘啊，或者是你肌肤上面的一个状况，非常客制化的去给你一些建议，给你产品的一些推荐，让你可以更安心的去做购买。你不需要到线下一定要去试妆，你不用花那么多的时间，你在线上都可以完成你所想要完成的这些东西。
Thank you. And it is very advanced technology. Just to give you an example, on the last one here, we had to take 10,000 pictures of women, send these pictures to actual beauty artists, makeup artists in Italy. We watched every picture one by one and make notes about, okay, for this type of face, our recommendation is it looks like this, etc. So it really takes a lot of effort to feed the machine learning. Lastly, and this is my last in terms of beauty tech, is really to show you the latest launched. We launched this only a few months ago. I call this the Nespresso of hair coloration. It's absolutely mind-blowing technology. I won't even explain it. I just show the video and you'll see what it is. But it is the latest innovation in terms of actual hardware beauty tech. At-home coloration is very difficult. But we are helping with Color Sonic, which is our latest product, which we're working on, announced at Las Vegas. You select your shade directly on your tool, on an iPad or an iPhone. We have different cartridges, very similar to a printer. So it's almost like 3D printing, but on your hair. Is this cool? Is this cool? It's cool. Let's agree. This is incredible. When I saw it. So Jacqueline, next year we will try it on you when we launch in Taiwan. If it goes well, then we launch it for the entire market. All right. So to finish my presentation, what I thought is cool about L'Oréal and my current job is even though we are old school dinosaur, 100 years old company, we're working on super advanced tech and we're actually deploying all these tech with our partners. So even if I'm L'Oréal, I'm actually having meetings almost on a weekly basis with Google, with Facebook, and we're adding these technologies directly inside Instagram, directly inside YouTube. You can do virtual makeup. We're discussing with all our partners, with Watson, typically, how can we do virtual makeup on the Watson application? And it's live. We're also discussing with local partners like Shopee. So I have my Shopee meetings on how can I bring this beauty tech, and Shopee loves us because we help them build the beauty category on their platform. This is what you do when you're in the number one in beauty. Now, the difficulty when you're number one in beauty is that you have no one to copy. You are the one creating the market. You are the one creating the innovations. So this is why we are bringing to our partners innovation. So I will finish just by saying, and I had to hide the numbers for this chart because I cannot share confidential numbers, but orange is L'Oréal growth in e-commerce and yellow is market growth, our competitors. And so all this beauty tech, e-commerce innovation, media strategy is helping us grow significantly faster than the market. So we are booming in Taiwan. Actually, we're booming worldwide, but in Taiwan, we're very, very strong. And when we look at what are the brands that Taiwanese women love, what are the brands they are talking about on the internet the most, we are dominating. Our brands are the brands which women want in Taiwan. So good job for at least L'Oréal Taiwan right now. We invite you to continue. If any of you are interested in anything about beauty tech, don't hesitate to contact HR, myself. I'm happy to share more, answer any questions about it during the Q&A session. But that's it for L'Oréal. Merci beaucoup. we're a beauty company, but we're also a beauty tech company now. And this is going to change the game. We consider this one of our game changers.
好，那最后的话呢，其实就是总结，刚才 Mark 讲的，我们其实就是在市场上面有一个非常强势的领导地位。那如果大家在未来有兴趣想要加入我们这样子一个非常先进的美妆科技公司的话，欢迎来跟会后可以来跟我或是我们 HR 团队的 Evelyn 可以进行一个联系跟讨论。
Merci.
谢谢。
好，谢谢我们的 Mark。那紧接着我们要邀请我们的第3位的讲者哈，也就是我们台湾莱雅的品牌总经理Juliet 刘，等一下应该是会分享这个 Kiehl's 的品牌的相关的这个说明。好。
大家还醒着吗？OK， 在开始之前，我想先问，听过 Kiehl's 的举手，用过的把手举着。Nice，OK， 那我们先看一段影片。OK，welcome to Kiehl's。我想跟大家说，就是为什么是我来讲。好，对，我不用翻译了，我自己翻译我自己，但我还是会讲些英文，让他们知道我在工作哦。好，所以呢，因为 Kiehl's 是一个今年已经171年，刚说哇，对 ，So who's the real dinosaur? We are, OK, 131. Okay, so how could it actually transform from a real dinosaur by keeping all of our core value and culture, but continue to bring you guys new thing, new stuff, new product? 所以 Kiehl's 是非常适合今天受到成大的邀请，谢谢大家可以来这边跟大家分享。我们在全球是非常非常强盛的品牌，我们来自美国，来自纽约。为什么要从一个黑白照片开始呢？大家知道 Armani 是一个人类，对吧？ Armani 先生，大家知道 YSL 是一个人吗？知道。大家知道植村秀是一个人吗？知道。那你们知道 Kiehl 是一个人吗？开始摇头了。OK，so actually Kiehl 是我们这个药局这个药店的创办人，所以我们什么 apostrophe 加 s 代表你的 ，right？So Kiehl's， 这是因为他开的药店。OK， 所以那个时候是在纽约的街边，在曼哈顿的一个大道上面开的一个药局。那这个药师呢，他开店之后，他就传承了给他的学徒，然后也是我们最经典的经营者，叫做 Aaron Morse， 就是现在上面看到的这个，他传承了他的老师，所以他就接手了这个药店 ，keep 了他老师的名字，然后一直在往下，所以后来他就变成一个 family 的 business 咯。所以呢，在这边过程中，你可以看到我们的这些药柜，其实大家会觉得这个照片虽然是黑白，但其实没有那么的陌生，是因为其实很多 element 你们都还是可以在星光三月啊、远东啊、南纺啊看到这些画面，因为我们是 keep 了很多很好的 attribute。For example， 刚刚有讲到什么 PET，right？ 就是 plastic。大家有没有注意到，大家在傍观专柜的时候，你们很少看到专柜的产品排列，但在 Kiehl's 的专柜，你会看到产品直接放在架子上。大家有发现这件事吗？请问上面有塑胶膜吗？没有。对 ，So when people are talking about less plastic, we don't use plastic film anymore already. So in Kiehl's 我们从来都没有用过塑胶膜，因为我们希望这个东西可以直接放到你手上。我们的柜姐也不用跑到3楼像女鞋一样去拿东西，直接后面就拿给你了。为什么？因为药师药局的意义是要 be very close to our consumers， 所以当你需要东西的时候，我回头拿了就给你；你要试下一罐的时候，我随时就拿了给你。所以其实很多东西是被 keep 的。那想说，天哪，那为什么 Kiehl's 的这个药局里面会有飞机，会有摩托车？有人觉得很奇怪吗？现场男女比例蛮平均的哦。好，想跟大家讲一下，因为 Aaron Moore 先生的儿子后来一代传一代嘛，然后他就发现说，哇，我那个有一个女生来买东西给他的小孩，然后他先生在旁边就是这样，当年没手机，很想赶快走，常常想要赶快把他太太拉走，他觉得很无聊。所以莫尔先生的儿子呢，他非常的自己是一个 pilot， 然后他当时也是开着飞机去很多地方，有参加世界大战。他觉得how about我把我喜欢的摩托车、哈雷机车、飞机搬到我的店里。男生可以待久一点了吧，各位。好，所以呢，这些东西就是放在店里面，让这些男生可以 stay longer time, accompanying their family to have more like solid consultation because they could take a look of the motorbike and take a look of the plane. 所以这个是 在我们传承 Kills 的精神之中，我们希望是服务 the whole family and serve all of your needs despite of sex, despite of any concern that you are having。所以呢，在这些过程之中，我们已经转换成现在的我们。大家知道 Kills 有 skin care, 有 face care, 我们也有 body care, but actually we also have pet care, we also have baby care, we also have men's care。所以有很多不同的照顾，我们真的就是非常非常的在你身边。但在你身边不代表我们要很 old school 哦。大家想想看，你心中的药师是什么样子？可能是讲话有一点慢，他很专业，但他穿的袍子呢，你可能也不会很好奇他是哪一个牌子，对吧？ But for Kills, we are serving the new generation and young generation. So we are your neighbor at your corner as a drugstore, but we're also your cool neighbor. You're wondering who I party with at the night. 所以呢，在 Kills 呢，你应该可以感受到我们有 tradition， 我们有很强的 professionalism. At the same time, we're super trendy, we're around you, and we are very new. 所以今天看到的 Kills， 其实我们保留了很多的元素，不管是 natural ingredients 啊，还有这些 bike 啦，其实我们都是希望可以 stick to the core value, but we evolve with the trend, we evolve with the generation. 好。大家有看过它吗？刚刚在 Mark 的影片里面有看到我们有一个 digital 的 virtual store， 其实在我们漂亮的这个Skin Pros， 就是我们的很漂亮的这个 training 老师站在中间，他的后面其实有一个人叫做 Mr. Bones。请问你们有看过柜台有站着 Mr. Bones 骨头先生的举手？有注意过他的举手？哦，大概是 half of it。大概是 when I ask how many of you know Kills and use Kills。I think maybe 95%, but people actually raised hand for Mr. Bones. I think maybe half of you. 所以你们以后可以记得，就是去看一下这个骨头先生。那我想说，为什么要讲骨头先生跟他是谁哦？其实，在当时在纽约的时候，这一间是我们在新竹竹北远东今年开的新柜台第40间柜哦。可以看到我们的骨头先生站在 very front line， 在 welcome everyone。我告诉你们，骨头先生其实很辛苦的，像他最近要去拍一些广告影片呢，还会被计程车大哥拒载，因为他刚好在7月拍影片。大哥想说，天哪，好可怕！对 ，But at the end we find a really cool taxi driver， 他刚好也没有头发，然后他抱着他上车说 ，Oh, he's like my brother。他就说他跟我很像，我也没有头发，他也没有头发，所以他非常开心。那个影片 is what actually we promoted when we have this first collaboration with Shopee. So if you are interested about that video, check on our Instagram. Mr. Bones visits Shopee, 就是虾酱in Taipei. 然后 so you will see the taxi trip to Shopee. 那为什么讲到 Mr. Bones 呢？他其实不是只是我们一个吉祥物哦，大家相信我，他很吉祥的哈。好，所以就是他其实 represent 了很多 Kills 的文化。大家想说为什么呢？回到历史背景里面，我刚刚有讲嘛，虽然成大是一个非常多元，就是很多理工，当然有很多理工科，现场应该是商学院的背景。大家有听过文化大熔炉吗？在你的历史课本里面，好，你们一定都比我离历史课本更近哦。所以呢，在文化大熔炉的这个时代，在美国纽约，其实有很多人是不会讲英文的，不管你是美国当地的居民，有可能是原住居民或是外来移民，其实有很多人其实不知道英文的语言或是那么专业的用字。那其实我们的骨头先生当时在药店里面，他的身份其实就是大体老师。他一开始的初衷是一个大体，为什么 when you have ache here, if you don't know how to say shoulder, you could just point at it. 所以在这个状态下面，它其实是 Kills 的 diversity, equity and inclusion 最强的 spirit 跟象征，所以我们直至今日都还是把它延续到现在，也就是大家在中药行上面看到的控8控18就黄金同仁的部分。好，只是我们是一个西洋版，是 really trendy and looks very cool and then但他不会换他的袍子哦，他还是白袍子，只是有时候会给他戴个帽子，戴个啾啾这样子。所以希望大家以后到 Kills 的专柜的时候 could say hi to Mr. Bones, he will be super happy. OK， 然后呢，所以现在像大家讲的 diversity, equity, inclusion is far built in our heart and we need to continue it. 那你会想说，身为一个保养品牌，在讲 diversity, equity and inclusion 的时候，到底有什么东西可以更贴近你？除了跟 Mr. Bones 打招呼之外，就是我们的 founder 非常重要、非常强调的，也就是 science。好，我想跟大家介绍一个产品。好，不管你有没有用过，或者你有没有听过，我都想要借这个机会跟大家讨论一下，因为毕竟成大也是有医学的嘛，所以我们一定有很多专业的伙伴比我还认识这个成分。有听过 A 醇的举手 我觉得 A 醇的知名度好像比骨头先生高Okay, which is very normal. So retinol is a really potent ingredient for beauty, for overall medical. 所以呢 A 醇这个成分大家有听过它，一定很多人是因为你们可能有听过 A 酸啊 A 醇啊吃过或擦过。其实 A 醇这个成分非常非常的强效，强效到什么程度呢？它是美国 FDA 第一个认证的 anti-aging and repairing 的 ingredient, very strong, 但它非常的 irritating。也就是说 if you have a too high 它的 intensity 如果太高的话，它其实很容易把你脸整个烧烂掉。所以其实很少的美妆品牌或医学美容品牌会敢用，通常都是需要专业的医师直接去做操作上面比较敢使用它。但是现在还有一些小牌子用它的时候，可能就告诉你说浓度很高越好啊什么的，请大家要注意浓度很高不代表越好，浓度很高是你要建立你的肌肤屏障才有办法适应 A 醇这个产品。那为什么这个产品跟 Kiehl's 的 diversity inclusion 跟 equity 有关呢？就是因为我们身为美国纽约，我们在美国是有实验室，是有医师药师在做研发的我们看到这个产品的厉害之处是因为它真的对你的皱纹、细纹、毛孔全方面都非常有效，但它很烦的事情是它很严重的会造成所谓的 skin discomfort。 所以当我们在想这件事的时候，我们就在想说凭什么只有油肌的人肌肤很健壮的人才可以 enjoy 这个 retinol 的这个效果呢？我们应该要让什么？你们知道台湾60%到70% 都 self claim 是敏感肌肤吗？因为大家在这个亚热带气候其实很容易会肌肤泛红啊、红肿或痒。所以我们就是在 Kiehl's 在发展很多事情的时候，我们会希望说 if we want a non-discriminated society, we want a non-discrimination world. 其实很多时候 when we are introducing a new potent ingredient formula, we need to make it applicable for everyone. 所以当 Kiehl's 在上市这个产品，希望可以把这个成分 inject 到我们的抗老精华液里面的时候，我们加了什么？我们加了胜肽跟神经酰胺 ，make it a complex with 它是一个组合体 of A 醇，那我们的浓度是 0.1%。大家会想说，我听到那个某某叉叉牌啊，某某叉叉牌啊，0.3了、1了，甚至有人到3了。注意A 醇这个东西真的不是越浓越好。A 醇这个东西是 you need to start with a modest density and then you build your barrier and then you fix your skin with comfort. 这个才是非常重要的。所以当我们在研发这个产品的时候，我们希望带给大家的是舒服但是高效的产品。好，所以我们在去年美国就正式上市了这一支全能新生 A 醇抗衡精华，然后在台湾上市，我们一上市不只是年华所有的 A 醇产品，甚至在专柜我们用4个月的时间就赢了很多人1年的销量，目前已经是全台湾的专柜抗老精华第7名。好，那我们来看一下它的影片。sorry, let me try again.
Kiehl's 契尔氏携手哈佛专业团队打造 A 醇全能新生抗衡精华，全新医学美容独创专利 A 醇，结合生态与神经酰胺，高效有感，精准抚纹，秒收毛孔，发打入，安心低刺激。全新契尔氏 A 醇精华，1滴5效，95% 使用者有感，立即免费体验。
好，没错，立即免费体验现在如果你想要去 counter， 你也是可以马上体验到。但我想要讲的重点是，大家有没有刚刚看到2个紫色的 bar？ 就算你想要很高的像 efficacious 的 result， 你不需要去 suffer from discomfort， 这个才是我们想要讲的重点。所以当我们要推出一个很好的成分跟很好的产品的时候，我们的心里想的是我们要服务0到99岁男生女生，不管你的肌肤属性是什么样子。So we don't even want any discrimination on sensitive skin。 所以就算你是敏感肌，也欢迎大家来使用。但是我必须说，虽然大家都是做 business 的，我们也要有 business 才有很好的未来，这个大恐龙才可以继续往前走。但我想跟大家说的事情 ，Kiehl's 在乎的就是 try before you buy。Please don't buy without trying in advance. 所以 if you go to counter, try it on your own. And 如果你是超级 sensitive， 就比如说我本人是有荨麻疹，硬要在公开场合讲这种事情。好，就是其实我们在这个状态下的时候，是需要大家尽量帮我试在脖子或耳后，因为这个段的肌肤是最容易跟你的脸部最像，但是它不会立刻造成你的肌肤反应跟敏感，所以请大家帮我试在这个部分。你如果碰了之后，基本上5分钟之内没有明显的红肿的话，你的肌肤应该是非常安全。那如果你有任何 concern， 建议也是先拿试用包回家。 跟回去试用过之后，照着我们的专业的 Skin Pros， 就是我们的柜姐的指示再往下使用。好，所以呢，大家讲到了我们的D&I with Science， 那我也想要 introduce 一下 Beauty Tech。好。好，大家刚刚看到嘛 ，Mark 有秀到这样子 Beauty Tech 机器，其实不只是用在 online， 我们在 offline 也已经 introduce 的这个机器，在全台湾有5间 counter， 今年已经开始示范了。在明年的时候，我们会 inject 更多台机器，也希望可以来到台南跟大家见面。透过这个机器，你可以在柜台上做到很好的肌肤检测，然后我们的柜姐也不会就是用口说或用眼睛看，其实是有很专业的机器在帮你做你的肌肤的8大指标的测试。好的。好，所以呢，这个 Know Your Skin 就是你必须要真的是摸到、看到，你才可以感受到你的肌肤需求，包含你的过去、你的现在跟你的未来，这台机器都可以帮助你做很好的判断。那也可以帮助我们的 Skin Pros 呢，可以做到更好的 Customer Service， 透过 Discuss and Diagnosis 一直到最后送你离开柜台以及各种的售后服务。好的。那因为时间有限的关系，我们继续往下看，我们还是要让大家知道，我们是商业的品牌，但是我们更在意的还是这个环境、这个世界。所以不管在 Water Green 还是 Less Plastic， 为什么我今天在这里？不只是因为我们够老，我们够新，也因为我们做的这个都比所有的集团更早更快。有用过金盏花吗？化妆水，好，大部分都点头，我很开心，谢谢。所以我们的金盏花是来自埃及的金盏花瓣哦。那我们今年开始已经有50% 的sources 跟 production 是 from 水耕做法。那水耕做法呢，就是可以比正常的农耕做法减少99% 以上的用水。那更何况我们也是 100% 在回收工业用水，以及不管是在 formula packaging 还是 in manufacturing 还是 stores， 在 kiosk 都是非常非常首要做第一个，希望可以让世界环境在我们做更多的 skincare 服务的时候，还是可以保护好这个地球跟保护好这个 community。所以现在的我们就已经有达到这些各项指标，那我们也会是全部的集团里面第一个在2030年全部达到100% 的品牌，在全球都是共同的 commitment。所以在我们的 Kiosk 的事件里面呢，我们总共陆续来已经做了非常大量的空瓶回收与 New World 的计划，这些都是全球指标。再加上我们讲的，我们不用塑胶封膜，而且我们的包装真的是安全有效，但它不会过度，所以你不会看到我们家有孔金的东西哦，因为这些东西在你的桌边就应该跟你看到的服务，但是一样可以做到环保跟永续。那台湾的部分呢，我们在台湾是第一个做空瓶回收的专柜品牌，我们目前累计已经超过40万的空瓶回收。那如果大家有听过冰河堂保湿系列的话，是全台湾第1名的保湿霜跟保湿凝冻，我们也在今年的周年庆正式上市了补充包，也可以让大家知道这个补充包是比原本的塑胶用量少了81%，希望这个产品的爱用者未来也可以拥有更多的环保选择。好，所以以 Kiehl's 来说，我想跟大家说的话，我们是 No.1 loved and skincare brand， 然后我们非常的专业，希望可以带给大家更多环保的选择。然后如果你们有来到 Kiehl's 的话，不要忘了跟171岁的 Mr. Bones 打招呼。好的，很快速的来到我的 career sharing。好，如果等一下有任何关于 Kiehl's 的问题呢，也欢迎大家跟我说，这样子。好。最后大概应该剩下1-2分钟的时间给大家看一下我的经历哦，当然比不上25年的 Eva 跟11年的 Mark， 但是呢，目前我在台湾是第7年，那如果是加上总部的经验的话，目前是来到第8年这样。我是在2015年加入莱雅，那个时候是在巴黎的亚太区的总部做 Armani 跟 YSL。然后呢，在2016年的时候回到台湾做了植村秀，从 APN 开始做起哦，真是一个非常基层，然后也很开心可以累积很多的经验。在植村秀经历了APN、PM 到 SPM 的过程中，我不只做了 No.1 的洁颜油保养，后来 move 到底妆上了无极限粉底液。如果大家脸上是擦这一罐的话，非常感谢你哦。然后呢，我也同时上了非常多眼妆的产品，带领团队做了很多眼妆、彩妆、底妆的创新，然后也有包含皮卡丘的上市。就如果有人有印象的话，今年是美少女战士哦，大家记得去看一下。好，然后后来呢，我集团move我到2个很特别的品牌，一个是 Biotherm， 一个是 Helena Rubinstein。那 Biotherm 很特别，是它有2个牌子，一个是 Biotherm， 一个是 Biotherm Home。所以那个时候我的身份是同时要做3个品牌，所以呢，当我在做 Biotherm 的时候，我是大学少女；当我在做赫莲娜的时候，我是微风贵妇；当我在做 Biotherm Home 的时候，我会想象我自己是贝克汉旁边那个想跟他长得一样的男生。所以呢，那个时候做了很多人设的训练，然后做了3方面的角度，每天开会都在 做不一样的事情，连我的穿衣风格都有一点受到不一样的影响。好，在去年的时候我加入了 Kills， 所以刚刚才有这么多关于 Kills 的想法跟理念想要跟大家分享。那我也在今年正式接任 Kills 的品牌总经理，所以现在很高兴可以跟大家分享很多关于 Kills 的产品跟精神。那想跟大家说的事情是，在 Kills 的世界里面呢，我们很在意的事情就是真材实料的讲话。所以不管今天是在广告上，还是跟我们的柜姐，还是跟我们客人，我们想要让大家知道的事情是，我们有很强的 formula without discriminating anyone. We have very strong formula. We have very strong team. We have very solid product. To support the earth and to support the community. 所以在这个过程中，我想跟大家讲 Kills 是真材实料到我们其实不太需要过度的包装跟过度的解释。来自我们的Aaron Morse 先生讲的一句非常非常非常好的话，叫做 Love what you do, put your heart into it, and you will be rewarded. 所以呢，谢谢你们今天早上来听这个讲座，希望你们有喜欢，希望你们有 put your heart into it, and we will reward you and you will reward us. Thank you.
好，非常谢谢我们的Juliet。好，那请我们的对工作人员小姐先帮我们放椅子哈。那actually I just got my Kills Essentials 2 days ago from Momo, and so I'm a big fan of Kills. 那接下来呢是我们的 Q&A 的时间。那因为报名的时候有我们的5位的学长姐还是同学哈，有先提问。那等一下我们会看时间哈，可能会因为时间的因素，我们会先让我们的3位讲者针对这5个问题来做一些回复。那如果有足够的时间，我们才会在公布这个我们才会再开放这个现场的 Q&A。那如果没有时间的话，就是会后大家如果有兴趣，可以再来找我们的讲者。好。So I'll start it with the first question, and I'll use Chinese first and a little bit English afterward. 好，那接下来我们就是讲这个前面的5个问题哈。那第一题呢是有一位同学跟学长姐有问到，就是在 COVID-19 的期间呢，莱雅透过早期的一些数位局势的布局哈，那其实是逆势成长。那但是在后疫情的时代哈，尤其是台湾的市场已经逐渐的这个实体通路回温，请问莱雅是怎么看待我们这整个全通路的布局，以及实体通路跟数位通路的一些策略规划哈 ？How does L'Oréal foresee the future with the offline rebounds, and what is the L'Oréal's online plus offline strategy?
So thank you for this question. I think Mark already gave a very good context in explaining it. So for us, it's important to be where the consumer is. And of course, COVID was a disruption also here in Taiwan, and people could not get out. So people were more and more going on the internet to buy their beauty products as well. And yes, we were prepared to do this because we have a great presence, and we are on Shopee, we are on Momo. So this gives us the base to do this. But on the other side, and even though there's more and more consumers buying online, they continue to buy online and offline. And all these touch points are important. And for us, especially here with L'Oréal in Taiwan, we know that a very, very large portion of our business is offline. So the experience in store. And we can see in Taiwan, as explained, people love to go to department stores. People love to browse, but people love the environment to test products, to talk, to get advice in a Kiehl's store or in another counter. So it's the future to be ready to speak to the consumers wherever the consumer is, to be on that journey and to really do this O+O. Or as we even say for a brand like Kerastase in hair, in professional hair care, O+O+O, because they're online, they're offline, and they're at the professional. In the salon, you can buy the product in the hairdresser, right? So at L'Oréal, we really, really always say, let's be where the consumer is with the best experience. An experience which can be a physical experience, a fantastic Mr. Bone supported BA, to really do the skin analysis in store, or be online with a great experience using all this beauty technology that we can have.
好，那我简单的也帮Eva翻译一下。原则上，现在我们期许自己就是消费者在哪里，我们就在哪里。所以我们会无论是在线上或线下的这个通路上面，都会去思考我们真正会需要花心力，以及可以帮助我们最有效率的接触到我们消费者的一个方式，就会是我们接下来琢磨的一个地方。
Thank you. And then that's gone for the question number 2. 第二个问题是呢，莱雅在2018年的时候收购了 AR 公司 Multiface。那请问美妆公司的这个科技布局就是是不是持续在进行？未来要怎么将这些技术再运用在实体跟通路上面？跟网络通路上面这样子。那 actually, I think that Mark already shared a lot of informations with us during the speech. And are there anything more that you want to share with us?
I think, yes, indeed, I already answered, I think, 99% that question. The main thing I want to share is that, in marketing, we spend a lot of time in focus groups. You meet a lot of women, you ask them, what do you need? What are the problems? What are the pain points? What are the friction? And so one of the frictions, when we kept asking people, why don't you buy, when you go online on our e-commerce website, you have 3 to 4% of people who will buy, and the other 97% disappear. We call this conversion rate in e-commerce. When we use beauty tech, when we add virtual lipstick, virtual makeup, skin diagnosis, this conversion rate all of a sudden becomes 6, 7, 8, 9%. So this shows, and this is a very business-centric answer, but at the end of the day, we are a business, that actually there's many women who want to buy online, but there's a slight hesitation, last minute, is that really the right product, etc. So beauty tech for us is helping the consumer, helping the woman, helping the selection process, right shade, right ingredient, right texture, at the last moment. So in short, we invest so much effort on beauty tech because we've heard it from the consumers. We want more understanding of the shade. We want to be sure of our purchase. We don't want to hesitate. We want the right product for me. So that's really the role for us. I think what is beauty tech? It's really bridging the gap between the consumer anxiety of the last moment transaction to actually reassuring the consumer this is the right product for me.
好，那刚刚大家有提问到的是 Multiface 这一块，那莱雅的话，我们认为这个它其实是一个很重要的一个桥梁，帮助我们的消费者在购买的时候，他可能在线上购买有非常多的疑虑或是焦虑的时候，他利用这样子的一个美妆科技，可以帮助他在购买的时候可以更有信心，然后更放心的去做这样子的一个采购的动作。那也因为这样子的科技，我们在电商的这个销售上面也更顺利的，可以帮助我们的非常多消费者在购买上面可以更加的顺利。
Okay. 好，那第三个问题呢是莱雅在迎接未来，也就是 L'Oréal for the Future 这个永续经营的这个目标，其实致力在这个环境跟保护生物的多样性的承诺上面。好，那请问这个莱雅有没有做出一些什么相关的关键的策略跟行动，让永续内化从这个企业核心的员工开始影响，一直到进而让供应商还有消费者都可以共同来做出努力哦。What is the L'Oréal strategy or action to ensure that the commitments for L'Oréal for the future are understood and aligned with the employees and even further earn recognition from vendors or consumers?
Okay, I will take this one. So as also the representative of Kiehl's and also one of the honor staff from L'Oréal Taiwan, as Eva just mentioned, in the best office, from the office that we're really trying to decrease all the influence and all the impact from the environment. In terms of brand, what we encourage consumers is that actually sustainability or eco-friendly is actually from your choice every day. So you need to be very cautious about each of your buying and each of your selection. For example, when we are just talking about Kiehl's product, that you really need to choose something that you believe that you will be good for your skin, and each day that you're opening each cream and opening each serum, you are actually doing a choice for yourself and also for the environment. 所以我们刚才讲说，产品不是空 game， 就是你不会捧着一个乳霜走在路上嘛，对不对？所以你的东西应该是在你的床边，在你的床头，在你的化妆台。当你在用它的时候，你是一个非常对它有信心的东西，然后你相信它这个东西有效，那就是最好。所以不管今天是在buying上面，还是在你的生活之中，其实在莱雅我们教育彼此跟教育团队的事情，就是你做的每一步都可以有意义。那有人想说，那身为莱雅，你哪有比那些 新创公司来的环保，你哪有比那些独立品牌来的有意义？因为你去比每一个规章，有可能有些独立品牌早就是一点点东西，它就是完全100% 的 eco-friendly from very small independent brand. But imagine that you're working in a big group like L'Oréal, each of your impact influencing the world. 所以为什么我们那么相信可以在这个 big group 里面工作？我们有这个信念的时候，我们不会自嘲说天哪，我们这么大单的时候没有办法做改变。We need to think about that each step we move here are moving a lot of things together in the world. 所以这个 consciousness 是我们不管是身为品牌，是身为员工，还是身为客人，我们都是非常注意跟非常希望可以 continue 的。谢谢。
那我想，身为员工应该是非常的幸福哈。好，那第4个提问是提到数位时代的行销手法要如何调整才能因应这个永续经营的趋势哈。How does L'Oréal adjust its marketing strategy to respond the CSR trend?
Okay, I can take this one. I don't think it's adjusting the marketing strategy. It's just leading and always wanting to respond to what is needed in the time we are in. And today, if you do marketing without respecting the earth, without respecting the society, you're not respected. And we know from the consumers, we know from students, from everyone, we want to look up to brands that you can be proud of. And like you just said, you're not just putting a skincare on your face, but you're also using a product, you know where it comes from, you trust the product, but it goes beyond trust. It goes also believing that there's something behind that makes sense. And the consumer is very informed. You grab your iPhone, you search, you look up what the product stands for, what are they doing. And that's why it's important in that marketing strategy that we're not just within L'Oréal internally know that we have good products and we don't do animal testing and it's natural based and we're using PCR plastic. But we also want to talk about it more and more. And as Mark mentioned, we are one of the biggest advertisers worldwide. So it's our responsibility even to upskill consumers, to let them know in drinking too much plastic water bottle, instead of bringing their own water bottle in the office and filling it up, they can make a difference. It starts here. It starts about educating our consumers. Then it is also about educating or working together with our partners, business partners, like, for example, Watsons. If you do go into a Watsons store, we have the cooperation right now with Maybelline. So Maybelline has in Watsons, and I think it's now 30% of all Watsons stores in Taiwan, so around 200 of the 600 stores, there is a little box and you can bring any makeup product to recycle it, not just a Maybelline mascara or lipstick, but any makeup product. So this is also to raise together with Watsons the awareness for the consumers that in recycling, we can reproduce this plastic and we can use it. They can contribute. And lastly, it's about our suppliers. That's the third one in the chain. When we work with producing PLV material, these displays, banners, well, we tell them we cannot accept new plastic. We want recycled material. We educate them what is the standard we want. Or we have a great cooperation, which we call Circulove, which is not just recycling, but also upcycling. So we are having GWPs, like little gifts you get, like a little purse when you buy a Lancôme product, you get your little beauty bag, which is made out of 100% recycled products. So this is along all the chain. We're involving it. It's for our marketeers, for our staff in the office, something normal in everything we do to just think green, I guess.
那伊娃认为它其实不应该是一个调整，而是我们与时俱进的一直跟着这个很重要的永续的观念。那从消费者来说，我们觉得我们是有这个责任要去教导我们的消费者，其实怎么样子可以在美妆这一块也可以非常的照顾到我们的地球环境，那可以进行这个永续的一个概念。那在我们的供应商这一块呢，从包材一直到我们的整个供应链的过程中，我们也都会非常的注重这个环保永续，以及对于地球我们都会是选择一个最绿色环保的一个选择，这样。
Thank you. 那最后一个提问是不是可以跟我们分享一些失败的经验哈？I think L'Oréal is a big dinosaur, so can you please share that? Are there any bad experience or?
You want to share failure? I can share failure. I will not share Taiwan failure because I don't want Eva to know. So I will share a failure from my previous job in China, L'Oréal China in Shanghai. I had just arrived in Shanghai, so this was 2016. And I was in charge at the time of my job was digitalize offline. That was my scope. Mark, you are in charge of digitalizing our offline stores. I said, oh, cool. I love technology. We just buy Modeface. I'm going to put iPads in every single store in China with virtual makeup. So I put every Lancôme counter, every YSL counter, Armani counter. I put iPads. Very, very expensive. It costs $1 million. And then we wait a few months, and I look at the numbers. Nobody is using it. Nobody. And it was very bad because I had just arrived in China. And it was my first project. It was a total failure. I thought, am I going to get fired because I wasted so much company money, etc., etc. And my boss said, Mark, what have you learned? And he said, if nobody is using, go interview consumers, go interview the beauty advisors. They're in the store all day. You're not in the store all day. You're in the office all day working on your little technology. Why is nobody using it? And then I spent the next 6 months actually interviewing all the beauty advisors I could in China and the consumers. And the truth is, if you go to a store, why are you going to do virtual makeup? The purpose of the offline world is actually you have access to the sampler, you have access to the beauty advisor, you have access to the shades. I'd rather try the shades right here than try it on the screen. And so we completely changed the whole iPad system. And and also the second learning is I interviewed the beauty advisors and they told me, Mark, you're putting a screen to take my job. It's my job as a beauty advisor. It's my job as a beauty advisor to help the consumer. And you're now putting a screen and they go to the screen. And if they use it, you fire me. So we decide, okay, actually, I made a total mistake. I made my project from a technology perspective. Office person, French person going to China thinking technology. And so we changed it. And that's where we started creating the new digitalization processes. And the first one was, I only put on the iPad tools which were part of the beauty advisor journey. So I told the BA, actually, when you're doing the whole presentation to the consumer, what help do you need? Oh, actually, sometimes I want to explain to them what is retinol ingredients, but it's hard for me to explain retinol. Okay, so now actually I'm going to digitalize by putting retinol explanations and very quick access for the beauty advisor. So you still have the physical experience with the beauty advisor and the consumer, and she goes then herself. She brings the consumer to the screen and she can explain retinol. The second thing the consumer said, sometimes I want to speak to the beauty advisor, but I cannot go to the store. This is when we started launching all the projects related to I can connect. In Taiwan, we use Line, but in China, I was doing it on Weixin, WeChat. You can connect directly to the beauty advisor. And then my project was a huge success. We had millions of people contacting the beauty advisor. So 2 learnings for me, at least from this whole process. Learning number 1 is we're quite lucky in digital and in L'Oréal, particularly the L'Oréal culture, is quite forgiving in terms of test and learn. Nobody said, Mark, you wasted money, bye-bye. They said, what did you learn? Go fix it. And then they gave me another 6 months to go fix it. So there's a real test and learn approach in L'Oréal. And the second thing I learned, and this was kind of my, let's say, marketing MBA. So for me, my MBA happened at the L'Oréal office, consumer centricity first. Always, whatever you do, you ask the consumer what they want or the stakeholder. Could be the beauty advisor. You first need to understand the need before you deploy your strategy, your technology, your product, etc., etc., etc. So consumer first, and then you find a solution for them. So I'm still here, and I love my job. So that was my failure, and we learned from failure. So actually, it was a good experience for me.
好，那 Mark 刚刚分享的经验，其实是他在中国的时候，他刚抵达中国的时候，第一年他的第一个专案就是他的老板请他要把线下数位化。那他第一个做的 project 就是他购买了非常多台的 iPad 放到不同的柜台上面，希望柜姐可以直接用这个来做肌肤检测。结果后来呢，发现1个月后或是一段时间之后，完全没有任何人去使用这样子的一个 iPad。那时候他的老板并没有直接指责他，而是直接问他是说，那你学到了什么？那从这样子的一个经验中，他其实总结出了2个他的学习。第一个就是莱雅集团其实是一个非常在意从错误中学习的一个文化的企业。 所以我们其实并不在意你最后的结果是失败或是成功，而是我们在意的是你有没有从这个中间去学习到一些你自己的一个新的发现。那第二个的学习呢，其实是 Sorry, what's your second?
The BA.
The consumer centricity, yeah. 第二个部分呢，其实是我们在行销这一块非常非常注重的一个部分，就是我们要永远把我们的消费者以及顾客放在第一个我们所在意的地方。那所有的东西都应该要围绕在我们的消费者以及顾客，再去想你的后面的所有的一些规划以及计划，你的这些行销的策略才会成功。好，那以上是刚才的分享。
请让我们再用最热烈的掌声来谢谢我们的3位讲者。好 ，Thank you, Eve, Mark and Juliet。那我们是不是请就是好，因为时间有一点挤，有点快12点了哈。那现场有没有任何的同学还是学长姐有什么问题？我们再开放一题。是，请说。
我想问一个问题是说，因为公司不是有 Multi Face 嘛？那之前有没有遇过，就可能有人用 Multi Face 试那个口红的颜色，然后发现口红颜色不一样，买回来之后试在自己唇上不一样之后说要退货的经验之类的，就是有没有这种类似说试 Multi Face 发现跟试上真正买回家发现跟试上去是不一样，有色差或什么，然后说想要退货，那这样公司会让你们退货吗？或是有没有什么措施之类的这样？
Okay, so I think the question is to Mark. Yeah, it's about Multiface. So did you ever have this experience that someone bought or tried this color on Multiface or online, but then it turned out the product or the color they had received was the wrong one? And what kind of experience was that, and what did we learn from this?
Well, the answer, I mean, we can be very honest. The answer is yes. The thing with digital is, digital is always test and learn. And the beauty of these types of experiences is that, I don't know how familiar you are with IT and machine learning in general, but in machine learning, every contact with the technology improves the technology. So every time we receive a false positive or false recommendation or false shade, we add that point back into the machine and we tell them, okay, for this person, we recommended that. And at the end, the satisfaction level was not acceptable. And then the machine will never try to make that mistake again. So to give you the answer, of course, it happens from time to time. However, L'Oréal, we have a policy where it's easy to send back the product. So if you receive it, you're unhappy, then okay, you send it back, we immediately refund you and we will send you a new shade. So I think in terms of customer experience, it wasn't the end of the world. You know, at the end of the day, we have to try new things. We have to try the metaverse, virtual, etc. But I would say that 99% of our consumers are happy. Then for the 1%, how do you take good care of them? How do you improve the technology? At the end of the day, we interview these people, you know, especially at the first years of Multiface, where it was still a new technology. We tried with 100 women first, with only one brand, in only one country. Then if everyone is happy, we deploy to 2 countries, 20 countries. We're not crazy, you know. We scale things at a reasonable pace. So the answer is yes. There's pain points at every technology moment, but now at least the feedback we're getting, and we always measure using SMS systems, the satisfaction of our consumers, and it's very high, very high.
好，那我简短的翻译一下刚刚 Mark 的回答，其实是有的。我们其实应该说99%的时候，我们的消费者其实都是很满意我们的产品，但当然一定会有出意外的时候。但是很重要的回应到我们刚刚最一开始讲到的2个重点，我们对于消费者为中心的这一块，以及我们从错误中学习，让我们一直不断的可以去精进我们的科技跟我们的一个服务。好，谢谢。
那我们是不是邀请我们的这个少基老师，我们人资长来帮我们做一下总结？等一下要先送一个OK。
对，今天我坐在台下听大家的分享那种心情其实又跟我第一次听莱雅来成大分享很像，就是他们讲的嘞，基本上都没有在我的世界里面出现就说大家可以想想看，就是说假设现在卖东西是这样子的科技化 然后跟以前传统的都不一样。那事实上展现的是很多的好机会，特别是对如果你在你目前的领域想要突破创新，或者你在你目前的领域是老二、老三、老四，当产业变革的时候，就有机会变成一个非常厉害的角色。只是那个思维跟传统的思维是很不一样，即使在行销的思维，对我来讲都是一个非常不一样的思维就是说，如果今天人脸的辨识可以测试皮肤，人脸辨识当然也可以是检测你有没有癌症，人脸那个什么辨识可以呈现很多的东西，然后或许也可以运用到各位的工作经验上面。对我来讲就是非常的有趣新奇那在财务的领域上面，我刚刚也在想说是要怎么样能够运用到这个财务的领域上面，让我觉得很有趣。对 ，So thank you, very informative and educational. You bring a lot of new knowledge and how you do business in this beauty industry. And now I truly appreciate. Now you are shifting from a cosmetic company to a beauty, science and technology company. So thank you. 谢谢 ，highly appreciate. 谢谢。
那谢谢老师那我们感谢我们今天的讲者那我们是不是先来拍一张大合照？请后面的学长姐还有同学可以帮我们往前坐吗？让我们在大合照的部分可以有比较完美的画面，请大家尽量往前坐好吗？好，请大家尽量往前坐哦。好，谢谢大家。好，那个拍照的时候，是不是请大家口罩可以先拿下来，然后我们就尽量不要交谈。那请大家口罩拿下来哦。摄影师要不要？好哦，非常谢谢今天大家。那我们现在we invite you to go upstairs and we are going to send the 那接下来我们有一个互赠这个感谢函以及这个礼品的这个流程那请大家再稍等一下下哦。好，请大家回到座位之后再稍等一下，我们现在还有一个互相自赠这个礼品的这个时候好，那我们第一位非常谢谢我们的 Eve， 请大家再帮我们的 Eve 拍拍手。好，非常谢谢今天有这么棒的分享好，好，那我们掌声不要停哦。好，好，谢谢。好，那我们要再拍一张照吗？好，那今天非常感谢我们今天的3位讲者那我们今天也谢谢今天各位同学跟想邀请哦，好，那好，了解啊。 好，我们再一次用热烈的掌声，谢谢我们今天的 L'Oréal 的分享哦，这个机会真的是非常难得。那也恭喜在座的各位，今天可以有一个成就解锁哦，现场听到这么棒的演讲。哦。好哦，好 ，Thank you， 好，谢谢各位今天的参与哦。那我们今天的活动就到这边，那请大家也是就密切的在注意我们下一次的活动，也欢迎大家就是之后可以继续支持成大校友总会所举办的任何一场活动，谢谢。